I think that Facebook groups is important.
As a roofer, you could create a local community group. You could homeowners in Omaha.
You could share your DIY.
And don't spam the Facebook groups.
Nope, serve. Make sure you open that live up, and you may ramble, but open it up with a little bit of a hook. Don't start your videos with, "It's John."
Hey, how's it going? It's Tim Brown, and this is the Hook Better Leads podcast. And today I have John Senac on again. How you doing, brother?
Doing good.
So we're talking about what works on Facebook now. And as I understand it, as you're out there training reps on things like shingles,
right,
and discontinued shingles and all the different things that you do, you are also kind of touching on social media because you believe that reps being involved, it seems like you believe that reps should be involved with marketing because you have been a rep and gotten a lot of business from that in the past. So can you talk to me a little bit about what you've achieved and like what types of business has actually been generated from Facebook for you?
Sure. So as a sales rep, if you work for a company and they have a Facebook page and a Facebook brand, I think that you should do like live videos or content saying you're at that office or at that location. Like, hey, I'm at this company and this is the roof we just put on. Or right, you should tag them. Just finished another cool project and maybe you got a drone photo of it, right? And or it's a post that they have and you're just resharing those posts. Those personal brands are helpful because it goes through your friend list and your friends may not know what you do and they realize, oh, I need my roof looked at, right? Or they know that they become a referral network for you because then when they hear someone else talking about a roof leak, they're like, oh, well, I know from watching Facebook, one of my guys' friends does this, right? So I just think there's no limit to how you can use your personal page to start building kind of a hometown hero brand, tying back to that main business brand.
100%, and I really like what you mentioned about referrals. Like this, I think a lot of people get this wrong, where they are spending time trying to create a lead every single time they post.
Yes.
They want a lead. They want 2 leads. They want 3 leads, and that would be their ideal. If that happens, great. But my thing, like you're talking about referrals, if they're seeing your content and referring you, and the content is good for that, it's also going to be good for creating leads.
Yeah.
But if you are always kind of asking for business, constantly asking for business on every single post,
right,
it gives the commission breath vibe a little bit. I think most roofers their post every single time is asking for business.
Yeah, I think that constantly finish with like, if you're looking for a new roof, no, they're not looking for a new roof, right?
Yeah.
Or sometimes selling at the end of every one of those posts and asking for business or closing. You're in sales, okay? I get it. That's the craft that you have, and that's fine. But I would not make that your full-time focus when you post. Sell with an act of service, right? You need to be focusing on how can I serve homeowners, and they all have little different needs. Maybe talk about a drywall stain. Maybe talk about how pipe roots rot. Maybe do a video in the attic that you poke your head in the attic because you're now talking about little service pieces that they may need, rather than like just another roof inspection. If you need a new roof, this is it. Show that you do the different surfaces, metal roofs, shingle roofs, shake roofs, whatever it may be. Just don't make every finish the same. And I'll give you one other piece of advice if you're doing personal stuff, personal page, personal brand stuff. Don't lead your videos with, "Hi, this is John."
Right? I'm working on that still. I sometimes still do that.
Yeah. Back out again. It's me again.
Yeah.
Another cool story, another funny topic, another fun fact for you. Don't start your videos with, "It's John. I was victim of this years ago," but that's changed drastically. So
that's 10 seconds.
It is. It's time, and it takes longer to get to the hook. Get away from that and actually just get them into, "Hey, big problem on this roof. Let me show you. Cool, unique thing I found today. Let me show you. Beautiful roof. First time installing this product." They know who you are, or you can say that at the end if you want to. There's no need to mess with that stuff.
And people are in sales and they're thinking, well, I'm going to go out and do these appointments today, and this is a waste of my time.
Right.
Posting on Facebook, being involved in a local Facebook group is a waste of my time. And what I'd challenge people a little bit with, if you did that, if you posted once a day, let's say, just once a day, and posted whenever somebody was asking for a roofer in the 5 top local Facebook groups in your area, and then you could wake up every morning with 1 warm lead in your inbox.
Yep.
If you could do that, would that be worth it to you? Because what I'm saying is that's not an unrealistic future for you as a roofing sales rep. If you have this referral mindset when you're posting content.
Just think of it. Let's look at a month. Let's say a rep wants to close 10 deals a month. 15 deals a month. If you pulled in 1 to 3 more deals a month through Facebook, on top of your normal business, you just grew your book of business 10 to 20% in a month's time frame.
Not to mention self-gen often is a little bit different of like a commission structure.
Yeah, I tell you, you will walk into the people that are calling you wanting it. You'll walk into those appointments a lot with a little bit more clout, a little bit more comfort than you do the cold calls. It's much easier to work.
So we're talking about what's working on Facebook now. I believe in those local Facebook groups. You were talking about lives.
Yep.
What other formats or methods would you suggest for a sales rep of a roofing company to focus on when they're posting on Facebook?
So I think when it comes to Facebook, I don't think we're ever going to get away from some measure of consistency being a performance. And when you're just inconsistent, it performs worse. We talked not too long ago about on Facebook, getting to 2-3 posts a day is entirely too much for just a local guy with their own brand.
I posted 4 times this morning, and by the 4th one, I was like, why isn't my stuff performing?
Yeah, exactly, right? So consistency is key. Frequency, you just need to pay attention to. It doesn't have to be 5 times a day. But let's say a fun one I think sales reps can do is maybe have a catchy thing you do once a week, right? Like meme this, that's a hot one right now. What is this? Wrong answers only. Or like what's the problem here? Just here's Solution Saturday. Here's where we solved a homeowner's problem this week, and it could just be a photo rather than a video. That way, the people watching you don't always have to watch a video, and I think that that's helpful. They see so many videos that every now and then they see a post or a picture with some text on it, and they stop because it was video.
Yep.
Right. So mix it up. So I think those are a few things like. Consistency, don't worry about frequency, but consistency. Maybe create some segments that are always your segment, so kind of an own your own idea, your uniqueness, your identity becomes that, it's part of that special thing that you're doing. And then consider using some still shots with some text to be able to look a little bit different in the mix of video.
Top rep, we're doing top rep there. It's great training.
So you got to have that defined sales process. Chuck Toki specifically, I don't understand how people make it with a defined sales process as an established company, but just starting out, you definitely need to have that because they need to know, like, and trust you through the whole process in order to give you money.
What do you think about thinking about your ideal customer when you're creating content or thinking about the person who's going to be referring your business? How do you, and I know that now we're breaking in potentially to you're a consultant for roofing companies now, so you've learned some things. How do you focus on that customer now? What are you doing now when you're posting? Who are you thinking about when you're posting?
That's a trick question. That's tough. So I know what you're looking for here, but
I actually don't even know what I'm looking for.
Oh, okay. Well then, so my focus is always on the homeowner and the property owner.
Okay.
Right. To better it for them, I have to target roofers, and that gives me the opportunity to go out and work and train and better their process to better it for the homeowner. And I spent so many years serving, like selling and working with homeowners, and I always focus on the selling with an active service. That was kind of crucial for me. So now the homeowner's still at the center of my thought process. So when I'm like, hey, come to this class, here's how it's going to benefit you, and here's how it's going to help you provide a better customer service, right? So I think that has been very central to me. But I have a personal Facebook page, a business Facebook page, and I'm my own Facebook group, and then I'm part of several other Facebook groups. So if you look at everything we just talked about for the individual sales rep, I'm using the same skill set, just instead of targeting homeowners, I'm now targeting the construction companies, the roofing companies, and it's very diverse in what I'm doing.
So you could create your own group, even as a roofer. You could create a local community group. You could homeowners in Omaha.
In Omaha. You could create. What if you did this? What if you created a share your DIY, right? And you had a whole bunch of homeowners that did DIY stuff, and then they end up like selling things in there, and you're a little bit handy with your hands, so you show them things, and maybe you show them. Like here's a repair that can be done on a roof. That's the thing you put in there. There's a lot of little micro groups you can create. Maybe you create one for your community or for your town or for your HOA, and you're part of 4 or 5 very small groups. We're talking people that are 100 people or less. But if you were
neighborhoods,
right? If you were part of 5 groups that had 50 to 100 people in it, you now have 250 to 500 people, right? that are in groups in your local area, in your 5-mile radius that you really want to be working or whatever it may be. So I think that Facebook groups is important.
And don't spam the Facebook groups.
Nope, serve. Share information, comment on other people's stuff. That way when you post stuff, you didn't just show up selfishly to say, here's what I want now, that you've been an active member of that group and engaged in that group. And you end up getting, you get badges and most important, active members and various different things you get in those groups. So absolutely focus on those
But
things.
just a reminder, and I know I talk about this all the time, this was my number 2 lead gen strategy for this year. I just did a list. My number 1 was canvassing. I mean, come on, it's roofing.
It's roofing. It's door to door.
2 was Facebook groups. Like, I'm telling you, like, this is real money. So just a reminder, being in those Facebook groups, whenever somebody's asking for a roofer, and my ideal is also like when other home services, you're referring people.
Yep.
And actually tagging the owner or somebody from that company that you know so that you can get credit for that referral and that they are reminded to then refer you back in Facebook groups. So I love stuff like that where you kind of like, you're playing the long game and you're the referral king.
Yep.
You refer people.
Yep.
And you could do that with insurance agents, all different ways on Facebook groups. But these local Facebook groups are super active, and if you don't know about them, get in there or get somebody on your team in there. Sometimes it's an admin or a marketing person.
Yep.
We talked about lives, but I want to go a little bit more into that. So as a personal brand on Facebook, the algorithm for some reason, and in groups, loves Facebook Lives. Why do you think Facebook pushes lives? And how do you think a roofer can really leverage this now?
So when you have a personal page and you go live, it's going to show up in everybody's feed. So when you open Facebook, you see all the red circles and the new stuff that's happened. You were tagged in this, someone commented on your post. You get to see your friends' lives. You may only see a select amount of their posts, but it's going to tell you, Tim Brown went live, right? And you see that in there. So if you are in roofing and you are out on a roof and you see something cool and you want to do a live and explain the service, make sure you open that live up, and you may ramble, but open it up with a little bit of a hook and then get going. But make sure people are actually on your live. Either way, let's say you only have 2 people on your live, right? So when I start my live until I get a person on there, I'm talking to the people that are coming back to watch this live. So I still start my live with a hook. I still start my live with like, interesting problem we found on a roof today. I want to show you how I solved it.
Yes.
Going to give it a minute to let some people get on the live, right? So, or I'll say something like, so if you're coming back to watch this, you're going to want to check this out. I am going to give it a minute. Here's what the problem is. Before I explain it, I want to let a few people join. That way anybody coming back to watch that live later in the day, or they see that alert that, oh, Tim Brown went live, and they click on it to see what he's live about, they instantly get hit with a hook, and we're not just, we're going to,
That's what I see. The people that just start lives, they like sit there for like 2 minutes, and then like 2 minutes later, there's like 3 people in there, and they're like, they start talking for real.
Yep.
You kind of got to do it twice. You got to do it for the people that are coming back later, and then you got to start again once people actually start coming in.
Yep, exactly.
And, I like what you're saying, on a problem.
Yeah, solve a problem.
Why do problems and I know conflict and certain things like work really well, on video, they work because it's the red and our eyes are attracted to it, right? Because, problem. But how can a roofer leverage this, and why does the brain do that? Tell me about the human brain.
Just think of how people buy, right? Pain pain can be a cause for people to buy. That means there's some sort of issue, problem, struggle. They have a leak. They've got shingles sitting in their front yard. They're trying to sell their home, and a home inspector says that all is good except for these problems on your roof. So it instantly starts running them through the process of filtering everything they know or can remember about roof advertising, roofing pages that they see. Well, when they have a pain or a pain point, I want them to be watching me enough and seeing me enough that they think of me first, right? You could even say that storms, wind and hail are a pain because it may trigger that association there. And all you're doing is setting yourself to have consistency. One great marketing campaign that existed out there for the longest time was the Meow Mix commercials. There's that song that would get stuck in your head, it's just saying meow over and over again, but it was ingrained, right? So
I could sing it right now for us.
If you found a stray cat, odds are you would go to just to feed it until you find a home for it or whatever, you'd go to the grocery store and you would buy Meow Mix, just a small bag, just to feed that thing because it's the brand that you knew. Nobody knew what brands of cat food there were.
Yeah.
If you weren't a cat person, you didn't know. But that song would get stuck in your head. And if you ever had a painful moment, like you found a stray cat, you want to be that to these people. You want to be there when it's painful, and then if it's not painful, any other time they're in a buying decision process, you still want to be the consistency that's been in front of them over and over again.
Talk to me about short form video. I know you guys were just up on a panel talking a little bit about this. In your experience, is this something, I know this is a spicy question, but is this something a roofer, roofing business owner, a roofing salesperson should be spending time on and mastering?
Yes. Somebody
why?
needs to be doing that.
Yeah.
Whether that is the company, the salesperson, or both. The short form video watchers are not young. There's plenty of young ones, but it's not exclusive to the young market. And that's where a lot of people are putting time watching stuff on social media. So even my age group, let's just call that the 40s, they're watching short form content on those platforms. So why wouldn't I use short form when I know that audience? I think there's a misconception that it's a younger audience. And I think there's also a little bit of a misconception that short form is just all funny, goofy acts. It's not. There's a lot of short form that's informative, very helpful, very useful.
There's doctors on TikTok
Yes.
getting hundreds of thousands of views about like kind of technical weird stuff.
So my wife has certain health people and doctors that she follows, and the kids are really big into Disney. So she has like people that do Disney reviews and stuff that she watches their reels all the time and follow. It just cannot reiterate enough that there's going to be something that is going to trigger the buying decision. And if it's pain, you definitely want to be top of mind for them for sure. If it's desire, affordability, whatever the other factors are that start affecting the buying decision, and now they're entering the thought process of wanting to purchase a roof, I just want to be targeting all of those markets. So I think it's wise. The other thing that we mentioned on the panel up there was even if you took the young approach, that thinking, they're young, they're going to be buyers soon. 5 years, 8 years, they're going to be buyers. I don't want to learn it then. Proactive versus reactive. So
Absolutely.
I want to learn it now.
If you truly believe in what you're doing and you want to be the best version of yourself and you want to build a great organization, there's no other place to do that besides the Roofing Academy.
Just like I'm an elder millennial, right? 36. That
Sounds funny to say.
I am a home, I just bought a home a couple of years ago. Like this is not, and I'm on TikTok and short form video, and it's ultimately what we realize is whatever format is popping at the moment to master it, whether that's Facebook or TikTok. And we were just talking to somebody, what is it Roofer Girl or something like that? She has a ridiculous amount of people watching her. It's short form video and other forms of content on Facebook. I don't know why. Do you know a little bit more about her story? Why she went to Facebook? Why Facebook's popping for her so much?
She's been on social media for a while now, and she definitely has utilized. Let's go back to the point. She's had homeowners reach out to her based on her videos saying, "I want you and only you to do my roof." Mm-hmm. Now that's the kind of content I went out there as salespersons. When I sold, I had people reach out to me. Now that I'm a shingle expert, I have homeowners reach out to me and ask me, "Hey, a roofer's telling me this shingle's what they use. Is it a good shingle?" Mm-hmm. I mean, think of the moment that I get to play there. Mm-hmm. We're talking about a homeowner, already has a roofer pitching to them, telling them, educating them, sharing information about the shingle, and they somehow in their vetting process found my social media and asked me a question about the shingles. So when you look at Roofer Girl, yes, she's predominantly Facebook, and she has something like 80 some odd thousand followers to that page, and millions of views. And she has jobs, she has people that want to sub her for the work, just a lot of stuff that has taken place from there.
And a few haters.
You're always going to have haters. Does not matter. The more you do on social media, you're going to have people that tell you did it wrong.
But that's a tough thing. Like some people don't want to touch Facebook or don't want to sit there because they don't want to have
rejection.
I think that is a lot of the reason that a lot of roofers don't spend too much time on social. It's just like they got one bad comment on a Facebook ad and they're like, I don't want to, or 10, competitors weirdly chatter in your stuff sometimes, all that stuff. It's kind of it's a little bit deteriorating on the mental health occasionally.
Yeah, I think of this. Take any skill or sport or craft that you're good at, and you go and you do that thing and someone says, wow, you did that really well. You feel warm and fuzzy. You don't really need validation, but what if someone said, wow, you did that really well. The methodology you use, or the way you installed that, or you're really good at your free throw shots. Doesn't matter what it is, you did that really well. And they tell you why, it feels a little bit better. But when they start trolling you, when they start being negative, when they start, figure out, is there even any substance to that? Because if there's not, I'm not going to get wrapped up in it, negative or emotional about it. But no, it is going to happen. If you're going to be active on social media, there are going to be people who just are negative just to be negative.
So let's just talk about this. Like, lastly, we talked about why at the beginning, but I want to touch on this at the end here as well. There are so many opportunities out there
Facebook
for lead gen opportunities. Like, out of all of them, and sometimes it's an embarrassment of riches. Like, for instance, when you're canvassing, or if you have a lot of leads from another method, you leave other methods off. You don't do them. So why utilize Facebook and maybe your personal Facebook profile to do lead gen, and would you prioritize it?
It needs to be top 3 for me. So I guess if you consider top 3 prioritizing, they're going to canvas. My number 1 generation was referrals, and I could ask for that through multiple platforms. So if you lumped referrals, that was my biggest lead gen, right? Mm-hmm. But you can also do a lot of tags and stuff to promote referrals on Facebook. So Facebook has an audience already. I think it's basic, so know that it's not as elaborate on what you're going to be able to put together as on short form. So it's simpler to learn and simpler to use when you're doing short form. I also think that Facebook Live, if you want to be that hometown hero, that Facebook Live is really good to that. Like I said, it alerts the people on your friend list. So I would use Facebook as a top 3 as a salesperson right now as one, but also don't hesitate if you're already making the video and you're on 2 platforms or 3 platforms to post it on multiple different platforms. It's already there, it's already created. It has potential on other platforms. If you're on them, use them.
It's got that local thing going for it too. Like,
I think so.
There's a lot of people in your area that you're friends with. Like, TikTok's a little bit more general. I'm happy. Like, you're not going to waste time learning an algorithm, in my opinion, because you learn the Facebook algorithm. It is going to help you a little bit in your other social platforms.
But let's look at this. If you open some platforms, it will only tell you if someone is live at the moment. If you open Facebook and your friend was live 2 hours ago and the live is over, you still get a notification that says Tim Brown was live. Mm-hmm. So even just how it's alerting for things like live video, live footage, stuff like that, tend to be a little bit simpler, more basic, and functional compared to some other stuff.
It was built around that local community. Originally, it was built around colleges. It was like a hookup app almost, right?
Yeah.
It was local. It was you and it always tells you the people that you have the most friends with, right? It's consolidated, like comparatively to some of the other social platforms. And I think that is a big advantage when it comes to being a local service company.
All right.
And so anyways, I really appreciate you being on. If you don't mind, could you promote anything that you got going on, and then give a .com maybe, or where you'd want them to follow you on social?
Oh, I'm not going to promote anything right now. We are getting ready to launch some new stuff, so look for it, but I'll tell you where to find it, because we have online classes, Zooms, and a brand new class set coming out. I just can't give all the dates away at the moment. John the Roof Pro on Facebook is the easiest place to find that. Otherwise, I am visible in John the Roof Pro on all other platforms, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. You can find me on there. We'll post them in every place we can. If you're a roofer who happens to be watching this, check us out on Name That Roofing Siding and More, the large Facebook group that I run. That's a good platform to go through. But yeah, we've got a lot of new content coming out, a lot of new courses coming out, so look for the announcement of those.
Awesome. And the podcast is put on by hookagency.com, Hook Agency all over social. Like this video, subscribe, rate the podcast if you get a chance. Really appreciate you guys watching and listening. Bye.
Yeah, I'm talking about Mountain Dew.